Hello, welcome. I'm STG by Sandhya, Assistant Professor CSC from Gokraju Rangaraju Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this part of the video lecture, as a part of the course Programming for Problem Solving, we will be looking at more about loops. So what is a loop? Loop is a control structure that helps us to repeat execution of few statements until some condition is false. So therefore, generally loops are expected to run finite number of times to give us the output. Yes, there is something very important point associated with loops called as nested loops. So what is called nesting? So question number one, before we get ahead, does C support nesting of loops? Yes, the answer is yes. Language C supports nesting of loops. And what is meant by nesting of loops? C programming allows to use one loop inside another. Nested loops are logical structures that are used in a wide variety of applications inside computer programs. A nested loop is an efficient and a simple way for coders and programmers to cause sequential events and actions that build upon each other. Nested loop means a looping statement inside another. It is also called as loop inside loop. Nesting of loops is a feature in C that allows you to, put one loop inside another. So how does nested loops generally look like? So you can write one type of loop inside any other type of loop in C. That means how many types of loops are there? There are three loops, right? While loop, do while loop, and for loop. You can put one inside another. You can put while inside for inside do while, etc. Okay, so how does that work? This is the basic syntax. You have an outer loop with some conditions for it. Then you have an inner loop followed by some conditions for it. So outer loop and inner loop is one of any valid C loops. That means outer loop either can be while, do while, or for, and inner loop also can be while, do while, or for. How does this work? The first pass of the outer loop triggers the inner loop, which executes to completion. So for every pass of an outer loop, the inner loop executes to completion. So outer loop one time, inner loop n times. Again, outer loop second time, inner loop again goes for n times. So it's something like that. We often use a break statement within the inner loop to get the control out of it and come back to outer loop. So at times, if you need it, you can use a break. More about all those statements we'll learn in the next lecture. Okay, so what is the basic syntax? If I have a nested while loop, inside while condition, I'll have another while condition. If there is something called a nested do while loop, then inside one thing, you have the another do while loop, but both needs to be terminated with a semicolon, please understand. And then inside a for loop, you can have another for loop. So let us talk about a few applications before we go ahead. What are all the possible applications that we see when we go ahead with nested loops? Working with two-dimensional arrays, sorting of arrays, matrices, any operation on matrices requires nested loops. Working with arrays, printing patterns. If you want to print like pyramid, if you want to print, a multiplication table, if you want to print a square matrix, etc. A lot of things in a lot of ways have the applications. If I want to find out, multiple elements, multiple occurrences, sorting, frequency, sorting strings in alphabetical order. In all these cases, we come across, nested loops. Let us take up the simple example and try to understand what does nested loop mean. Here is a simple example where I'm trying to print a pattern like pyramid of stars using this. So how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the input is 5. Here, if the input is 5, I'm printing first line 1 star, second line 2 stars, third line 3 stars, fourth line 4 stars. So this is how I tend to use this. So the number of lines is the outer loop. How many times an action needs to be repeated? What is the basic action? Printing star. So therefore printing star will be there in the inside loop. How many times is it printing? First line 1 time, second line 2 times, third line 3 times. So line number of times. What is the line number? Nothing but I value. So therefore for j is equal to 0, j less than I, which is nothing but the line number, j plus plus, you're printing a star. And how many times this action needs to be repeated? 5 times. So therefore you're going from 0 to 5. You can also make it the other way. You can set it to 1 and write less than or equal to. Here also you can set it to 1. Both will work. Okay, so this is a pretty simple example. Each time you're done, you'll move to a new line. Now, what is this concept called as infinite loops? When we just spoke about loops, we just told that loop should be a finite action. But many times, due to some programming constraints, we end up requiring something which goes on infinite times. But again, a question needs to be put. The basic algorithm property says any instructions or any code must not be infinite. So yes, we make an action infinite number of times because we don't know how many times the user wants to repeat the process. But we put something inside it, something like a exit statement or something like a break statement or something like a go-to statement inside to ensure that you come out after your end with the process. So therefore, what is an infinite loop? Infinite loop, sometimes called an endless loop, is a piece of code that lacks a functional exit. You don't directly put some functional exit, so therefore it repeats indefinitely. Generally, a program in an infinite loop either produces continuous output or produces nothing at all. So infinite loops are also known as indefinite loops or endless loops. Okay, so infinite loop is a looping construct that iterates forever. So therefore, how does it work? So infinite while loop, we are checking it infinite while loop, while of one. What is this while of one? Infinite do while loop. It's not do while, it's while. So while of loop, your action repeats infinite times because one is a non-zero value which is said to be true for a computer. So therefore, while of one runs forever until some body of the loop. If you want to come out of this loop, inside this loop, you need to have some condition associated with exit, break, or go to. Okay, so now it's time for infinite do while loop. Do is small here. So it's a do while loop, do while of one. So while of one gets you to infinite times of execution. So what is infinite for loop? Infinite for loop, please remember, it has both the semicolons but with nothing inside. How do you understand that? When the conditional expression is absent, it is assumed to be true for a for loop. Whenever the condition expression 2 is absent, it is assumed to be true. So therefore, you may have initialization increment also. But still, since the condition is absent, computer treats it as infinite. And this is a simple syntax for infinite loops, which runs forever. In this context, the loop will run forever, just repeats forever until the stack overflow or you press Control C. In this case, whenever something happens abruptly, you got to come out of that, you use Control C. But generally, inside an infinite loop, people usually keep this concept of, having that break or exit or go to. Okay. So just remember, for loop is used in a situation where you know beforehand that how many number of iterations your action requires. Whereas while loop is used in a situation where you don't know how many times your action needs to be repeated. So therefore you'll use while loop. On the other hand, do while is used in a context where you needed your body to at least once to be executed. So this is the point that needs to be remembered. And on this note, this is how we tend to choose what our loop choice is. So before we close, I recommend you to take a pen and a paper and try to write down this code on your own. Try to reverse a given number using a while loop. Try to print using a do while loop the multiples of 2 till 100. From 1 to 100, you just need to print only the multiples of 2, but you got to use do while loop. And also try to write a C program to print the multiplication table of a given number. Okay, so on this note, it's thank you. Remember the properties of loops, and this is very essential for us to proceed with the next programming. Good day.